Today we're going to cover some Cinemachine basics, basically virtual camo, priority, follow, and look at. First, download Cinemachine by going to Window, Package Manager, Cinemachines, and install. You'll need that for the rest of the video. Once it's all installed, you'll notice there's a new tab at the top that says Cinemachine that's been added. So obviously we're going to be using that. Behind the scenes here, I made a scene. It's just got a plane and a cube. Very basic stuff, so we can see what's going on here. Feel free to do the same, and when you're ready, we're going to go up to the Cinemachine tab there, and then go down to Virtual Machine, Virtual Camera. Should be the first one there, and make a virtual camera. Once complete, you'll see a new game object added to your scene, CM Cam 1, and on the right side, you'll see the properties for the virtual camera. You'll also notice your main camera has a virtual brain script attached to it. That's necessary, so don't remove it. Today we'll be looking at priority, follow, and look at. And the first one we'll be looking at is look at. So just take your cube as your player and then move it over to the look at. You'll notice the camera centers on the object, and now it's going to follow the camera as if it's always looking at it. Alright, that's it. We're done. Just kidding. We got a bit more. To make things clearer, we're just going to minimize the body tab there in your virtual camera fields. And we're going to take a look at aim, because aim refers to everything that's relevant to the look at target. So aim equals look at. I'm going to hit play here so just we can see what it looks like. And you see here, well, the camera moves with where the player's moving. So now we're just going to play with some sliders and have fun and see what happens. Look ahead time, well, exactly as it says, is trying to predict how far ahead the camera should look in the direction of the movement. So if you want that or not, well, it's up to you in your game. Try it out, see how it feels. Dampening refers to how intense the movement is here. So with the horizontal and vertical and the previous look ahead dampening, it all has to do with the intensity of how quickly it moves left or right, or horizontal or vertical. The blue box you see is the area where the camera can move. The yellow dot there is the center point of the camera's focus there. So everywhere there's the blue box, the camera can move. So we could change their bias or its position on the X and the Y. And the yellow dot is the camera's focus. So we can create dead zones within this blue box, meaning there's areas that the camera will not move. And if you can move it using the fields on the right, or you could click and drag on the blue box in the middle there. And now you see where there's not the blue box, where the yellow dot is, the camera will not move. Additionally, soft zones define the areas of those blue boxes. So you can make those soft zones larger, or you can make them smaller to restrict or increase the size of the camera movement. As we see here, again, you could use the field sliders on the right-hand side in the component, or you could just do it right on your editor, your scene window by clicking and dragging. Additionally, we could change the bias, so basically the offset of where this blue box, the focus area, is. We can change it on the X or the Y. So when you have a look at target, all the values here in the aim menu will change. We'll change how it behaves, functions, and all that stuff. Can be edited in code too, but why do that when you just have sliders? The solo button on the top right of a component window there allows you to, well, play the camera in edit mode. So I'm demonstrating here by adding some noise to the camera. You see it plays when you have solo clicked, and when I unclick, it stops playing. The noise values can also be changed just to have a bit of fun like I am here. The next thing we're going to look at is the follow target. So the follow target is going to refer to the body menu here that we minimized earlier. So we're going to maximize that now because that's going to be our focus. I clicked and dragged my cube into the follow target, and now when I hit play and move my cube around, the Cinemachine camera follows the cube as it moves. So now it looks at it and also changes position based on the cube. The offset values allow you to change the position of the Cinemachine camera in relation to the cube. Like offsets in the look at target, offsets on the body changes the camera's position relative to the follow target. I made some new objects in the scenes just so we could see movement a lot clearer. Again, dampening affects the intensity of the camera here. So the higher the number, the less intense the movement will be, and the lower, the more intense. Some examples of jumping with dampening on, and also with it off, and then back on, so you can see the difference. The next thing we'll look at is a field of view. So this is above the body submenu there, and you could slide it left and right. You'll see it changes the degrees, the FOV. Additionally, another thing you might want to be aware of is Dutch, which is down below the field of view. So this will actually tilt the camera for you in one direction or the other. Okay, we're going to make a second Cinemachine camera here, and then see how to switch between the two in real time. So make the camera just like the last one that you made there. And then we're going to look at the priority field in the Cinemachine component. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to go ahead and change the settings of the second camera. I'm just going to have it not foul the player and just make it look from a top-down view. This way it'll be obvious when we switch between the cameras, that we've switched between the cameras. In order to switch between the cameras, we are going to have to do a little bit of coding. So you're going to make a new script. I encourage you to make it on your main camera. And we're just going to make key presses change us between the two cameras. So I just named my script Camera Switcher. I guess I'm not too original there. And then I just go ahead and open it up to edit. So a few things we got to do to set up the script. First, we have to do using Cinemachine. So this will allow us to use our virtual cameras and reference them. After that, we're going to get two public references for the two cameras that we've already made. You can name them anything you like. Here I just call them Camera 1 and Camera 2. So once we make those two public references, we're going to go down to Update because we're going to use key presses to switch between the cameras. In my case, I use the Get Key F for the first one. And now we're going to put a line of code where we're changing the actual priority. Remember, the priority determines which is the active virtual camera. Camera 1's priority is going to be 10. And then we're going to make Camera 2's priority 9. So 10 is higher than 9, so Camera 1 will be the active camera. We're going to copy and paste those 3 lines of code there, because then we're going to make the key code G do the opposite. What it's going to do is Camera priority 1 is going to be 9, and Camera priority 2 is going to be 10. Just by switching the priority number here, we can determine which camera is going to be active and when. So back at our scene here, I'm going to drag our references for our Camera 1 and Camera 2 into the script there, and then I'm going to hit play to try it out. So here I'm going to be using the F key and the G key to switch, and you can see it transitions and switch. This one, Camera 1 follows, Camera 2 does not follow. It's a static camera just looking up from above. And Cinemachine itself will handle the transition for us if we like. The Cinemachine brain actually controls that transition. So if you want to change it, first thing you got to do is you got to click the Create Asset. Name this thing anything you want. It's just a scriptable object. You just got to make it. That's all you got to do is just make the thing. Now you see events come up. I just hit the plus to make an event. And we're going to go from any camera to any camera. And we're going to change the transition to cut. So now I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to check it out, and we'll see we're just going to be cutting between the two cameras instead of that ease in and out that we had earlier. So using the brain here, we could change the transitions based on the values that it affords us. Lastly, I encourage you to use the solo button on virtual cameras when you're editing them here. This way, even if you have multiple cameras, you hit the solo, that's going to be the camera that's focused, and then you can change the values. Otherwise, you'd have to be fiddling with the priority and stuff, and that's just a hassle. I hope this video has given you some ideas to use Cinemachine in your own games. Thank you. Cheers.